Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Spotlight by BuzzInContent. I am Sakshi Sharma and today we have with us a real social media sensation, Anmol Raina. His hilarious videos and posts have got folks rolling with laughter on internet. So welcome to Spotlight, Anmol.
Thanks for having me.
Is there anything that I missed out while introducing you to my audience?
I don't think so. I think that was more than enough.
What kind of content do you exactly make?
I'm still trying to figure that out. I don't think I have a specific niche.
Okay.
I just try to make whatever I find fun.
So आपने अपना content creation का journey कैसे start किया और कब start किया exactly?
I think it's been about a year and about 10 months or close to 2 years now. About डेढ़ या 2 साल पहले. And I've always wanted to be a content creator. Like I used to watch a lot of YouTube जब मैं I was like 15, 16 नहीं उससे भी पहले actually क्योंकि it all sort of started with I used to watch a lot of like gaming YouTube and like this is back in the day जब content लोग इतना consume नहीं करते थे like उस time पे like लोग मतलब हमारी age के लोग फिर भी TV भी देख रहे थे so like YouTube this was like in the early days when I was like 11, 12, 13 तो उस time पे there used to be a lot of gaming YouTubers तो अपना like they would record like their screen of them playing a game and they would commentate over that. So it started from that, then it went to like fitness YouTube and then a lot of vlogs. So I was like, I always thought it was kind of fascinating and I always used to consume a lot of YouTube but like जब मैं छोटा था I wanted to become a professional basketball player but then that slowly like transitioned into me wanting to become a content creator and then eventually so it's like a few events that happened in my life that I was like, okay, now I need to sort of like try to see what I can make out of this content stuff or just ditch it completely. Because मेरे को ऐसा नहीं करना था कि वो ऐसा हो जाए कि मतलब I grow older और फिर मैं सोच रहा हूँ कि उस टाइम पे अगर मैं थोड़ा और effort लगाता तो शायद मेरी life इतनी boring नहीं होती. So I was like, okay, let's try doing this and see where this takes me. And then yeah, like that event, I don't want to go into detail but there was like a sort of like a canon event that led me to going like, okay, now I have to put in a lot of effort to see if it works out because if it doesn't, then we'll figure life out and at least rule this option out.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it.
What exactly inspired you to become content creator? Because a lot of people, a lot of content creators, they told me कि COVID के time जब lockdown लग गया था, they just put their phone on recording and उन्होंने reels और content बनाना शुरू कर दिया. So आपके साथ भी exactly ऐसे ही हुआ?
नहीं, not really. Like I think I started making content around the COVID period only, but a little. Actually, I started making it a little before the COVID period. I think, if I'm not mistaken, or. Wait, what was that time period? But it was sometime around the COVID period only. But I've always been, मैं मतलब हमेशा से कुछ ना कुछ करके कैमरा पे उसे रिकॉर्ड करता रहता हूँ. Like I've been recording myself since like a pretty young age. Okay. Like I've always liked being on camera, not in a professional setting, but like because I used to not like particularly like movies. Like मेरे को कभी मतलब actor नहीं बनना था. मेरे को हमेशा से content creators ही अच्छे लगते थे. Where it's like a self shot, like a thing that you do on your own. So that's what I was always fascinated by. So it wasn't something that got evoked in the lockdown. It was always something I had inside me. And then it was an unrelated event to the lockdown, which led me to go like, okay, now I'm getting older. Like I said, I hate the fact that I'm 23. So like I was like, okay, now I'm 21 or whatever. And I was like, okay, now I'm getting too old. Agar ab nahi hua, to fir I'll have to like give this up. Okay. So yeah, that was like sort of it.
बाकी लोगों की surprise मिलने वाला है because you don't look 23 at all.
I think I मेरे को लगता था I look younger. That sucks.
That's a compliment.
Yeah.
That's a compliment from my side.
Yeah.
You look a bit older. But okay. Also, I think if I'm not mistaken, आपने एक point पे अपना content creation journey को pause पे डाला था.
Yeah.
What was the reason behind it? और वापस वो motivation कैसे मिली content बनाने की?
I mean, the reason behind it was that like अब मेरे को I'm a little bored of making funny videos. Like I'm not bored of making videos. I don't think I'll ever be bored of making videos because like it's such a blessing to like sometimes like I forget कि you know like in the process of making videos you get so into the whole कि numbers game होता है ना कि वो मेरे followers नहीं बढ़ रहे, likes नहीं आ रहे, views नहीं आ रहे, so you get sort of lost in the sauce and you start like undermining the fact that there's like a bunch of people that just watch your stuff and actually give a shit because there was a time when nobody did because I used to make content for like no one. Like I used to post my videos since I was like 14, 15. Like I've had like 2-3 YouTube channels where I used to make like gaming compilations and all of this stuff. So उस time पर जब views नहीं आते थे, that time it was always like, I want to, sort of like whatever, make videos and stuff. So I wouldn't say that and that pause was also intentional. So like the pause happened because now I'm bored of making this sort of content. So I was like, what do I make next? Like, what do I want to do next? And also, like, I don't want to just do content. I also want to like rap.
Okay.
So that period, I was like, okay, now how do I transition to rapping? And I took a wrong approach. Like my approach to going about it was completely wrong. I shouldn't have stopped content. And क्योंकि मैंने फिर वो stop करके फिर I just started posting like shitty rap reels, which I shouldn't have done. I should have taken a pause and I should have like slowly built my way up to it, which I'm trying to do now. Like now I'm trying to slowly do it as opposed to just stopping completely. So the pause was like not because of like a crisis or anything, but more because I intentionally was like, okay, let's stop. And because मेरे को लग रहा था कि एक ही चीज कर सकता हूँ मैं कि I can either try to get good at like rapping or I can make reels. But that's not the case. Like I can do all of those things and I can balance it out, which I'm not good at right now, but hopefully as time goes on I can get better at it.
Okay, so are you still figuring it out या मतलब अभी content creation में कोई तरह वापस आ चुके हैं और you are just in that journey?
I feel like I'm always just figuring it out. Like as a content creator, people can say that they're sure of what they make, but you're never really sure of what you make. Because like हर reel पे different engagement आती है, algorithms change होते रहते हैं, and you're as a content creator, you're never, in my opinion, you're never really like, at least for me personally, I'm never really sure of myself. Where I like question, oh, if I'm really funny, am I really funny? Should I be making this? Should I be making that? Like, you're always questioning yourself. So I'm not sure right now. I'm always on the journey. I'll never be sure.
Okay.
At least that's what I think.
So how challenging was it ये वापस content creation में आना, or are you still facing some challenges?
I mean, like I said, I feel like it's a constant struggle because जब आप हर रोज post कर रहे हो तो तब तो पूरे time you're like, you keep sort of, you're in that groove. But even if you stop for like 3 days, then coming back you question yourself. So it's like you're constantly questioning yourself. It's always like a struggle. Like at least for me, I'm someone who has a lot of like I wouldn't say self-doubt, but like I have a standard for myself which I usually don't meet. So when I don't meet it, I start questioning myself. So the struggle is like always on. It never really stops. Yeah.
Also, I think your followers love one thing about you, that how relatable your content is, especially the Desi millennials.
Yeah.
So how do you stay consistent in making content? Because अभी जैसे आपने बताया आप थोड़ा सा demotivate हो गए थे because you were not getting likes and views on your reels and content. So now how are you able to stay consistent?
No, I wouldn't say I got demotivated because I wasn't getting views or likes, but it was like obviously that plays a factor, but then there's also this thing that you're like, okay, this shit is actually not funny. Like it's like you're like, if the funny is gone, like I was, and then you start questioning, you're like, was I ever funny? Because this is lame, right? So you reach that zone. So it's like the likes and stuff obviously are a contributing factor, but then you're also like, fuck, ये तो actually में funny नहीं है.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like not just that, but anyway, your question was that how do I make relatable stuff?
Relatable stuff plus how are you able to stay consistent? Because अब मैंने जब I also follow you from a very long time.
Yeah.
बीच में थोड़ा inconsistency थी, but आज सुबह भी आपने एक वीडियो डाली थी. I saw that also. तो इतना consistent एकदम मतलब not exactly demotivate, but then you're still making consistently reels.
Yeah.
So what is that factor that is keeping you in this journey now?
Just not sucking, I guess. The fear of failure. Yeah. I guess that's about it. Like there's not a positive answer to it. It's just like it's a rat race, right? At the end of the day. So I'm also just running because I basically nowadays I've quit drinking and everything else. So like now there's like not much in life. Like I work out and I make content. Like the only way of getting a dopamine hit is through Instagram. If you post something good, people appreciate it. So it's like, that's why like if I don't post something, then I just feel depressed basically. So like to fight the sort of like the angst of everyday life, you just sort of keep creating shit and then it keeps you busy. Because with content, it's like, it's this constant rush, right? Because it's like, it's not something that you work on a long-term basis. Some people do that, but for me, it's like usually I film something, I edit it, I put it out. So you get that instant feedback and you get addicted to the instant feedback.
Right.
So when that instant feedback isn't in your life, then you just feel like nothing is working out. That's why even in that balance between where I'm like, okay, do I focus on like getting better at like writing stuff, rapping and stuff. But then you're like कि shit, अब मेरे को वो हर रोज जो likes आते थे और जो views आते थे, जो reach होती थी, अब वो नहीं है. So then that, like, even though you're working on something, because that constant thing is not happening, you start feeling low. So yeah, it's like,
That is how focused you are now.
yeah, it's just that. It's like if I don't post regularly, I sort of get left out. And there's obviously a discipline to it as well. And I guess a big factor to that discipline is that now I'm just never like hungover or like sick, or like, you know, like when you're drinking and you're partying very often, or like drinking twice a week, once a week also, then उसमें एक दिन आप दारू पीते हो, 2 दिन hungover होते हो, तो 3 दिन तो हफ्ते के वैसे ही चले गए. So like for me at least, being consistent with everything else was a lot harder.
Okay.
So now, because like you drink, you go do some then that is on your head, which makes you not think about work. So not having all of that, and like I guess the fear of failure combined with a little bit of discipline is what
So
keeps me
right now
consistent.
you're just focusing on making content. Are you studying? Are you doing anything else?
Oh no, so basically I dropped out of college in 2019.
Okay.
And after that, we make fountains. So we have our family businesses. We make fountains. So I also program fountains. I do that apart from the content as well. And yeah, so I do that. I'm not studying, but I do the programming aspect of our family's business basically.
Also, कभी हमने try किया है कि आप किसी और content creator के साथ collab करके अपनी videos निकालें, because that is how, in my opinion, that is how you will be able to gain more audience. एक नई audience आपको मिल सकती है उसके through.
I personally don't agree with that strategy, because I feel like कि जब दो लोग कुछ post करते हैं साथ में, तो it's very rare that either of them get followers. Because I know a lot of people who've consistently been only posting together. Like वो लोग साथ में ही post करेंगे और दोनों के ही followers नहीं बढ़ेंगे. Because when you give people an option to choose between two people, especially on a platform like Instagram, and again, this is my personal opinion, this is what I feel. If you give people an option to choose between two people, they will not make a choice. They would rather just scroll past, like and scroll past. Because Instagram पे वैसे ही लोगों का like attention span इतना short होता है कि people लोग बस scroll कर देते हैं. They don't really give a following one person. So I personally don't like posting a lot of collabs, although I have collaborated with a couple of people recently. Like I've collaborated more than I have in general, and I think I'm going to film something with someone after this as well. So I just do it for like the fun aspect of filming with someone, but not so much for garnering an audience, because I feel like Instagram is so competitive now. There's so many people ki just because you collaborated with someone doesn't mean that people will follow you.
Okay.
Like you need to be in people's heads until they see you like 10, 15, 20 times on their feed.
Right.
Maybe then they follow you. Especially after, like when you're new and a reel pops off, you get a bunch of followers from it. But when you've already been on Instagram for some time and a reel pops off, tab itte log follow nahi karte. So you have to sort of like be in their head and you have to be on their feed. Then only you can sort of convince them to follow you. Otherwise, a collab won't. At least I feel like it doesn't do much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, trolling is a big part of online space. So
Yeah.
Like for example, you're making funny reels. For me, it might be very funny, but for other person, maybe it's offending.
Yeah, it's very subjective.
So if there's
Yeah.
reading comments on your feed,
Yeah.
not only you.
Yeah, everyone gets trolled.
How
Yeah.
do you deal with this negative commenting and trolling?
Like obviously, like it's very cliche, but like somebody actually taking the time out of their day to comment some bullshit thing, like clearly something is wrong with their day for them to be taking it out on me. But even in the moment, like that's the rationalization, that's the logic behind it. But obviously in the moment I also get pissed off, but मैं मतलब वो दिमाग में ही मैं गाली देके फिर उसे निकाल देता हूँ. Like I don't go back and like reply to comments and stuff, because if you start doing that, so there's like एक negative comment के लिए there's like 50 positive ones.
Right.
So then why did I not reply to the positive ones? And then the one negative, like people will see that I only reply to the negative comments, and everyone will comment negative stuff to get a reply. Because whenever this happens a lot, like usually someone's hating on you on Instagram, whatever, comments में तो मैं कभी reply नहीं करता, but कभी कभार DM से मेरी सनक जाती है तो मैं वापस जवाब दे देता हूँ.
Okay.
And then they'll just be like, oh my god, you replied. So it's mostly people just do it to sort of like get attention. If I say something wild, they'll reply, because that I feel like that's just how like the internet sort of works. Like who can say the wildest thing?
A lot of creators believe the same thing that you're saying, that maybe for attention people just comment negative, do negative comments.
Yeah, and it's funny also. Like when I read negative comments on other people's things, I find it pretty funny.
Okay.
So like when I'm getting trolled, like if it's a good troll, then I'll be like, okay, that's funny.
Okay.
Like yeah, like sometimes I get like recently I got a comment that pissed me off quite a bit. Like I wouldn't say quite a bit, but like if I'm still like if it's in my head, then it yeah. So it was like this one dude. He was basically critiquing my form on this one exercise, and it was some bullshit, like it was fitness related. So usme I was like, okay, this dude doesn't know what he's talking about.
Okay.
But like I was like, whatever. Like I obviously didn't reply because again there were like 50 positive ones and then the one negative one. So you just don't reply, and like comments are off. So like I don't get any notifications from Instagram on my phone. That's the only way of staying mentally sane, because I anyway you still open it 500 times, but like my Instagram notifications have been off for I would say like 8-9 months. Like it's been off for a really long time because वो comments आते रहते हैं, likes आते रहते हैं, वो सब आता रहता है, so you keep reading it and you're never really present in real life. And you're anyway as like a person from today's generation, you're anyway not present in real life. So as a content creator, you can get absorbed into that world even more. So it's just better to try to not read all the comments. I just read all the comments the first day. उसके बाद like it's very rare that I'll revisit. Like I do very like बीच में अगर जैसे बहुत सारे comments आ गए, then I'll go read it, like to see what, like if a reel's popped off or not. But otherwise I try not to read too many comments.
So how do you engage with your audience if you're not replying to their comments?
I don't think I engage, like that's something that I'm actually pretty bad at. I don't think I engage with my audience at all. Like I reply to DMs. I try to reply to like जब भी कोई ढंग का DM आता है, I try to reply to that. But comments में तो मैं बिल्कुल engage नहीं करता. I find that too, I don't know, like again that's one of my, I don't know if to call it a flaw or what, but I don't particularly engage too much in comments.
If you're not commenting or if you're not replying to them on comments,
they won't comment again.
No, not that. But then, what is the other way? Like how will you engage with these audiences? Because सब तो DM नहीं कर रहे ना.
हाँ, but engage करने की ज़रूरत क्या है?
Because engage करने की ज़रूरत क्यों नहीं है, मतलब I just want to know your views.
I know, but I feel like a comment is not enough it's not enough of a reflection of my views. Okay. Like you need to, like basically my views on something are never going to be fully reflected in a comment, and they're mostly going to be misconstrued. So like अगर मैंने कुछ मान लो कुछ controversial चीज़ पे मैंने कुछ बोला, तो उसमें मैं अपना point of view properly दे नहीं सकता, and it's a small statement, right? It's like Twitter is so toxic because it's just a few people with a few words just trying to sort of give an explanation for their whole worldview. So like that doesn't work. Like I feel like comments just get too toxic. Like बीच में मैं reply कर देता हूँ जब कोई बहुत goated comment आता है, like if it's a very funny comment or if it's something that I feel like emotionally some sort of way about, then I reply. Okay. But otherwise I don't reply too much, and it's not like a cocky thing. Like if somebody DMs me something, I usually try to respond. But comments में ना फिर वो हो जाता है कि फिर नेगेटिव को करो, पॉजिटिव को करो, फिर पॉजिटिव में सारे पॉजिटिव को करो, then it just like becomes like a too much of a thing. So I just try to just stay off of it.
Okay. And I think you make content around lifestyle, fitness, and funny reels. Obviously, we keep on making funny reels. So are you still experimenting with your niche, या अपना content आपको diverse ही रखना है?
नहीं, I want to keep my content diverse. Now I don't know if that's a disadvantage or not. Like if brands then get confused कि ये बनाता क्या है. But for me personally, I want to keep it diverse because I don't want to put myself in a box, which I did with the funny stuff because I've always been into fitness, so I should have also showed that aspect of my life, which from the beginning basically. But now I'm trying to involve that too. Yeah.
And how is it working for you? Because I keep on seeing some fitness stuff that you put on your Instagram.
I have fun making it. It's been keeping me very consistent because like when you have to record stuff, तो फिर वो दिमाग में वो होता है ना कि because like basically like fitness is almost like it's like a day-to-day thing कि अगर मैंने कल कम खाना खाया, then I look like shit the next day, or if I eat the wrong foods, then I'm holding too much water the next day. So it's made me dial in a lot more, where I'm like super careful about what I'm eating. So it's just made me more disciplined. So yeah, it's been having a positive impact on like my regular life. I don't know if it's made that much of an impact on my following yet, but I feel like I'm only 10 mini vlogs in. Once I get to the 30-35 mark, I feel like it'll start picking up as well.
So I think it's the other way around. Content creation आपको fit रहने के लिए motivate कर रही है.
Yeah, like I've been lifting for like 7-ish years now, so I've always been fit. But it's now this has just made me dial it in further. Like हर रोज workout तो मैं करता ही था, but अब वो workout में थोड़ी intensity और बढ़ गई है. And I was always eating like a high amount of protein, but now I'm also trying to watch what I'm eating, not just go like okay like now I'm trying to see where the calories are coming from instead of just going like I'll consume whatever. Because पहले होता था ना कि कुछ भी खा लो as long as the calories are going in, I'll look big. But now it's also like I'm becoming more health conscious, but that also has to do with the fact that I got jaundice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Also, like coming back to your content creation journey, I'm sure you also work with a lot of brands, doing brand partnerships and deals. So, is there any kind of challenge that you face while you work with brands? Because I have been talking to a lot of creators. मेरे को लगता है एक भी creator ने आज तक ये नहीं बोला that I am fine working with brands. मेरे को ये problem नहीं है. I'm just सब कुछ बहुत transparent है, सब कुछ बहुत consistent है उनके साथ. So do you also face such challenges?
Yeah, I would say so. It's like because it's like brands have caught on to the fact that we're supposed to not market stuff the traditional way. Like they have allotted like massive budgets to social media marketing, but what they haven't realized is that social media marketing पे normal marketing वाली strategies मत apply करो.
Okay.
Like you need the new playbook, which is like you need to see how someone makes their content, and then you let them make that promoted like promotional reel also the same way that they make their content, as opposed to doing it the traditional way that you sort of anticipate or expect them to do. So that's just that. But like that's understandable. If I was paying that much money to a person, I would want to control the outcome as much as I can. Like it's understandable from the brand's perspective, but that's the only problem I have. But it's not even particularly a problem. Like पहले मेरे को होता था कि oh this is like not aligning with how I would want to do it, this that. But now I'm like okay, I get it from their perspective also about why they would want to control each aspect. But yeah, I feel like the brands and the creators can get on the same wavelength a little more. Right now, it's a bit unaligned. Yeah.
Like, how do you balance making a particular reel or a particular content जहाँ पे आपका creativity भी हो और brands का side भी आ जाए? How do you balance it out?
I don't think I've managed to balance it very well.
Okay.
Yeah, like I think I'm pretty bad at. Actually, I don't know if I'll say I'm pretty bad. Some of them get a decent amount of views, but again, like Instagram is such a constant comparison वाला thing ना that you see कि उसकी brand reel पे 10 million views आ गए. So when you get 500k, you're still like, oh, I'm a bit disappointed with how this reel did.
Does it also depend on brand to brand कि कोई छोटा brand है, कोई mid-size brand है, कोई बड़ा?
नहीं, I think it's just about the amount of freedom they give you to incorporate that brand into your idea. Because if you don't have a lot of freedom, then the probability that it will do well is going to decrease. But if you have freedom, then you sort of can make it your own way, which is then again, you know your own way, so that will probably do better than like a restrictive promo reel.
Got it.
Yeah.
Now we'll move to the next part of our
Alright.
conversation, that is the rapid fire round.
Got it, yeah.
Be very quick.
Yeah.
I have to be very quick asking questions. Are you ready?
Yeah, I am ready.
So what's that one thing that your audience doesn't know about you?
That I'm an introvert.
It doesn't seem like.
I'm like, I have my moods. Like, I need to muster up a lot of courage to, not courage, but like basically social battery एक बार ही drain हो जाती है तो मेरा मतलब बाहर जाने का मन ज़्यादा करता नहीं है. So like I would say I lean more towards the introverted side, and that's what everyone says, that it doesn't seem like it, but I definitely am more introverted than I am extroverted.
And if you weren't a content creator, what would you be doing?
I mean, I would like to think that I would be an athlete, or I would just be, but I don't want to say just be, but like most likely I would want to be an athlete, or I would be doing like the family business. Okay. Either of the two things, yeah.
Alright. And if you could swap lives with any famous character for a day, who would it be?
Elon Musk for sure. Like,
Why so?
He's just like, I love Elon Musk. Like, I know he's a very polarizing, controversial figure now, but I just find the things like all the things he does, like they're just very fascinating to me. Like all the companies he's running while also being the most followed person on Twitter. Like his life just doesn't seem real. It just seems too insane to be real. Okay. Yeah, he's a very fascinating figure. So I would love to see, because I keep reading about, like I just read his new book. I've read his old book 3 times. I wrote my extended essay in IB on his company. So I've always been very obsessed with Elon Musk. Like, this is not a new thing. Because people will say I'm a bandwagon कि वो अब Elon ज़्यादा controversial हो गया तो, but I've been riding Elon's wave since like 2017, 2018. Yeah, but Elon for sure. Or like Shah Rukh Khan or Elon. Like अगर Indian होता तो Shah Rukh Khan, otherwise Elon Musk. Because I find those people to be very fascinating. Like, I want to see how they go about their day, just like one day also. कि वो करते क्या हैं to be
One
where
day
they're
you
at.
meet them and you can
Oh, I wish. I don't know about Elon. I don't even know about Shah Rukh, but I can hope.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's that one secret talent that nobody knows about you, especially your followers?
I can make any happy situation quite depressing.
Wow,
I
that's the talent.
I overthink a lot, so yeah, I can make a happy thing into a very depressing situation. Vice versa, also I feel like, but yeah, it's more the other way around.
Okay. And
Yeah.
lastly, describe your content in 3 words. You have
Uh,
to be very quick.
okay. I guess unpredictable, average, sometimes funny. Sometimes funny is 2 words, but yeah, unpredictable, average, and
Funny.
made funny. Like sometimes funny.
But
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah.
Thank you so much for having such candid conversation
Yeah.
with us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you having me on.